Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. This was an unplanned video because apparently I totally lost it and all senses shut down because I totally forgot. I knew Oregon had state primaries, but after we did the Georgia and judicial elections, I'm like, we're done. And apparently we weren't because we still have Oregon. We still have the Oregon down ballot races. 2 days later, not bad, but I'm just thankful that I suddenly remembered out of the blue. But yes, uh, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Attorney General said race for going from here. It's Tuesday, and it looks like we don't have. I don't think we have primary races today, but we'll go ahead and cover these races anyway. But I'll find out tonight when everyone starts doing their live streams. But anyway, other I realistically there is no uh presidential primaries. So let's get started. We're going to talk about the races starting with the Secretary of State race. Um we have the Democrat Tobias Reed and the Republican Dennis Linthicum being nominated. Wikipedia looks like also forgot that these races existed because the election results have not been recorded. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the said. You'll see this is for the Democratic Party. Yes, Tobias Reed easily winning the nomination by 70.1% of the popular vote. James Manning only receiving 22.3% overall, 93,000 votes. And yes, Reed swept the state. Let's see. Reed, his best was a 79% clip. That's good for him to know. A 79% clip, almost 80%. The most populous is Multnomah. 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 Okay. We're just going to call it Multnomah. Because, yeah, if you're from Oregon or Portland, because this is the county that holds Portland, you're probably laughing, but no offense, but your county needs a different name. Because no one can pronounce it. Why can't you be like King County, which has Seattle, Kings County, and have a simple name like that? But I'm guessing this was more of an indigenous name. But yeah, 79% of the popular vote, going all the way down. And then yes, this was Sherman County was the most populous. Not the most populous, but the biggest margin, almost 80%. But yes, Tobias Reed, the nominee for the Democratic primary, most likely set to win to become the next Secretary of State in Oregon in November. Let's see. We're going to have the Republican primaries. We're going to see similar. Okay. Yeah, similar results. 66.7% against. We can declare Dennis Linthicum as the Republican nominee, and he easily defeated Brent Barker. Now he didn't really receive a much of a bigger margin than Tobias Reed because once again there are more Democrats in Oregon. But yeah, 66.7% of the popular vote. You got Linthicum, his best performance, 79%, and that was in Klamath County. Now, oh yeah, right here in that greater Idaho area. I want to believe that Klamath voted to be a part of that movement, but I don't know. But yes, makes sense that you want to try to get votes in the West because that's where everyone lives. Not many people live here. Don't try to campaign here, even though your people are going to treat you friendly and treat you more better here. That doesn't mean you get to. It's a good idea to campaign there. Not much people overall. So campaigning over here is well recommended. And yes, you'll see Linthicum gained votes in Portland and Eugene, along with Medford and Bend. So interestingly enough, we got our Secretary of State down. We have the Attorney General's race, and that was the forefront. All the way on top, we can declare Rand Rayfield as the Democratic Party nominee, winning 76% of the popular vote, sweeping the state with a good and high percentage. Rayfield's best performance being in Benton County. Where is Benton County? Oh, I just passed it. And I don't want to spend the whole entire video looking for counties where they won, but yes, Dan Rayfield winning 76% of the popular vote against Shayna Maxey Pomerantz, and she managed to win 24% of the popular vote. Her performance was mainly in best performance was in Lake County, where she received 40% of the popular vote, with a total of 227 voters participating in this election in the county. So yes, Rayfield once again up in the upper northwest is where all the Democrats are in Oregon, and that's all you need in order to win Oregon. And if you get votes up there and numerous votes up there, you win. But yes, you got Portland being a huge contender in that race. Let's take a look at the Republican primaries. So far, these are like not really compatible. No battleground set in these primaries, but Will Lathrop is the nominee for the Republicans. Will Lathrop. And he won similar results, 64.7% of the popular vote, crossing over to 182,000 votes. Good for him. Once again, he solidified his victory by focusing on the West Coast of Oregon, campaigning in the West, mainly in Oregon's bigger cities like Medford, Bend, Eugene, Salem, and Portland. Michael Cross only getting 35.3% of the popular vote. Yes, Lathrop's best performance was in Wallowa County. See, Wallowa County. I'm not going to go and look for them, but yes, that's the only county where he received 90% of the popular vote overall. 90. There's only 1,000 voters participating in it. You had Cross received 10%. Cross's best performance in county-wise was in Columbia County, where he received 43% of the popular vote. But that's what it's kind of looking like. Anyway, let's see. We got that down. State treasurer. This is interesting because Republicans aren't running a candidate. They're instead endorsing Brian Botquist, who is an independent party, a part of the independent party. Now, he's not an independent. A lot of people will say, oh, he's an independent. Well, no, he's not. He's officially a part of the independent party, which is actually a party. This is specifically the Independent Party of Oregon. And this is a center political party. Well, ideology, like I explained in my last video, big tent, meaning that they refuse to pick a side of the political spectrum. Well, in this case, they chose center. And they necessarily can, because center is saying, hey, you know what? We're open to both sides. But big tent sort of individuals or political parties refuse to say I'm more liberal or I'm more conservative, because they feel that will hurt their said party and their voting record. So they'll say I'm a people person, or we're open to any ideas or any said affiliation. So that they say big tent or catch all is sort of what it's called. So Brian Bockwist, part of the Independent Party. I don't know if there was a primary. Apparently, um, there was a primary, and Bockwist ran in the Republican primary. Um, Interestingly enough, but we can take a look at that. This is state others. Yeah, Bockwist was contested though. Well, actually, no, he wasn't. Never mind. Because Nathan Sandvig, a renewable energy developer, withdrew. So nothing much to say from that. But his potential challenger, Mr. Bockwist, is going to be Elizabeth Steiner. 79% of the popular vote. She managed to win and solidified, of course, in the west or the left coast, if you want to call it, of Portland and Salem. And yeah, it's going to be Portland where um, Democrats in the primary Democrats need to win, because if you don't win Portland, well, whoever wins Portland most likely will win the said primary. That's the theory. Has it happened before where someone has won Portland and lost? I'm sure it has. But the more people come into Portland, the more radical Portland's getting, and more one-sided. Like if my neighbor votes this way, I have to vote this way, because once again, it's kind of part of unity. This is more of, I would expect whoever wins Multnomah County is going to be the winner. But yes, 83% of the popular vote for Lane. Steiner did her best in Lane County, compared to Gutman's 17%. 43,000, 90% of the popular vote. Interesting. But yeah. I suppose there's no talking about Bockwist, because Brian Bockwist uncontested. But it's interesting. It's different. It's interesting. And I think in order to win Oregon, you probably have to throw an independent party or someone with that affiliation. Because let's see, going to 2022, we had the similar situation where we threw an independent in Washington, and it was relatively pretty close. Julie Anderson, a nonpartisan, finished with 45.8% of the popular vote. The incumbent, Steve Hobbs, who was, I believe, appointed by the governor after Kim Wyman, a complete rhino in Washington, the Secretary of State, was actually selected by Joe Biden to be a part of his administration. So she resigned, Trader Wyman going to join the Biden administration. And yeah, she's a Democrat propagandist. And she's still a part of the GOP. Like, why can't we just kick her out? That's the problem. And so that led to Governor Inslee, I believe, appointing Steve Hobbs, who actually finished 49.8%, a record poor performance, thanks to a nonpartisan being in this election. I mean, guess what? I guess people will be open, and as you know, Republicans are very well demonized in the state of Washington, because of the media. Once again, King County and all that stuff. But if you throw an independent conservative in there, like, you'll start to see blue counties start flipping pretty easily. Sort of what we saw in the Georgia Supreme Court election. Interesting. It's sort of, you got it. So that I'm hoping that the state treasurer could end up like that. And who knows? Maybe Elizabeth Steiner is absolutely a weak candidate, and because she's a state senator, and supposedly Oregon being a blue state. I mean, it's blue, but not as blue as Washington. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, Oregon also is libertarian state. Okay, to a point, they oppose sort of this leftist agenda. I mean, I'd imagine more people are going to flock to the independent party. The independent party for sure is going to get a lot of votes. So that's my theory. I'm going to do a prediction on that very soon, come in the next couple of days. But what do you guys think? Before I end, I'm just checking. Oh, we have ballot measures. Shoot. We'll do those. Wait. Ballot measures. I don't think the ballot measures were for. Yeah, I think those ballot measures are for November. But yeah. Anyway, I don't want to do a separate video, but is there any judicial races? No, there are not. Okay, perfect. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.